finally time for another food prep video. So I am not a meal prep girl. I don't like to have containers with like broccoli and chicken and lettuce and there's like 10 of them in the fridge because that just gets super boring to me. I don't like it. I instead like to have ingredients ready to go, like some chickpeas and salad and whatever, and then I can make whatever I want out of that stuff. So today we are going all in on another food prep, and I have prepared a list of the things that I want to accomplish today. So I'm sure you can't read that from there. Let me just tell you. So I have some of the usual players on here like celery and pineapple because it's just my life to constantly prep celery and pineapple. But here we are. I do want to roast some sweet potatoes today. I have a new squash that I've never tried before that I want to roast with the sweet potatoes. I'm going to steam some potatoes. We're going to make some falafels because they're super easy to just like throw on a salad or have on there, whatever. And we're gonna hook up some breakfast sausage. So, you know, I don't know if you've checked out breakfast sausages, but they have like all kinds of stuff in them. It just has stuff that does not agree with my body. So I'm going to make some breakfast sausage on my own, chicken and maple, a la Shantel, and it is gonna be delicious. How do I know this? Because I tried my hand at it just the other day. I winged it, or wung it. Is it wung it? Wing it. Winged? It doesn't matter. You know what I mean. So we have a lot of things to do, and I haven't decided exactly what order I'm gonna do things in, but I am gonna start with the stuff that takes the longest. So that's gonna be roasting our sweet potatoes. So I'm going to preheat the oven. We are going to start prepping our sweet potatoes, get them cut up and ready to go, and then we're moving on. So I'm just gonna start by peeling the sweet potatoes, and I'm using Japanese sweet potatoes, which I have to say are like my ultimate favorite. They're purple on the outside and white on the inside, and they have this like delicious creaminess and sweetness that is just all the things. If you have not tried it, whoops, then look for them at one of your local stores and see if they have them. I hope that they do because they're where it's at. So I really like to have these on hand so that I can throw them into salads. I can make like a breakfast hash and have them with some scrambled eggs and some breakfast sausage, or, you know, just even on their own. They're just so tasty. And I believe I said I was going to preheat my oven and I didn't. So let me do that. So I'm just preheating my oven to 425. And then as soon as that's ready to go, I'll put the cut up sweet potatoes and the squash in there. And I'm gonna cook them until they're tender. So that could be anywhere from like 30 to 50 minutes, but I'll just keep testing them out with a fork until they're ready to go. So moving on to our squash, this is a delicata, I think it's called. So I've never had this squash before, but I am excited. She has this really pretty coloring on the outside, like these orange stripes, and then she is like a pale orange on the inside, and I am excited. It smells like a pumpkin. I love it. So I'm gonna hit these guys with some salt and a little bit of cinnamon, and then I'm just gonna mix that in with my hands. And I really Should have this on like 2 separate baking sheets, but I'm gonna risk it. I am going to risk it. All I need is for them to cook all the way through. If they're crispy, if they're a little soft, doesn't matter to me. I don't care. All right. Your best tools, your hands. Next up on my list is onions. So here's my plan. I have this bag that has like 8 or 9 big onions and then this like little baby shallot. So I'm gonna prep all these guys and I'm just gonna throw them in my food processor and just finely chop them up because that's really the way I use them anyway. Then I'm gonna stick them in the freezer and I'm going to put them on a cookie sheet and let them freeze that way, and then I'll break them up. I'll put them in a reusable freezer bag and all will be well. All I have to do then is go into the freezer, scoop out the amount of onions that I need, and off I go. My deep desire is that this is gonna save me a lot of time when I'm doing food prep, and with my busy schedule, I don't need excuses to eat bad things or order out or any of that stuff. I am really trying to stay on track and bring balance back to my body, bring balance to my hormones, bring balance just to life. So any little thing I can do to make things easier on myself, it's just that much better, you know? But before I get into this, I need to do one super important thing. Un momento. I need to get my little list and check off the sweet potatoes because those bad boys just went into the oven. And who does not like a list with check marks, right? Accomplishments, accomplishments. I'm gonna start with one of my onions and I'm just gonna cut them into large chunks and throw them into the food processor, and you know, off we go. Oh God, I'm so scared. My eyes, my eyes. Oh God. I was watching this cooking video last night. Oh my God, my eyes, oh my gosh. I was watching this cooking video last night and this Italian chef had this onion cutting trick, and he said to put a spoon in your mouth and hold it in your mouth while you're cutting the onion, and it's like the metals or something in the spoon will keep like the acid from or the vapors from affecting your eyes. Should I try it? I'm gonna try it. Is it just a regular spoon? I didn't get to ask questions. Let's see. Does my mouth have to be open? I don't know. Because I definitely still feel it. Maybe my mouth needs to be open. I feel stupid. Number 1, oh my God. Number 1, I can't believe I just did that. Number 2, I feel incredibly ridiculous. Number 3, my eyes are still burning, so I don't know what that is. I did see somewhere else where someone said that you just need to breathe through your mouth. Just be a mouth breather. So let's do that. Oh my God, my eyes. Don't close your mouth. Don't close your mouth. I'm just trying to move as quickly as I can. But I have to say, like, over the spoon, or between this and the spoon, like being a mouth breather or having like a spoon in your mouth while you're cutting onions, I feel like this one is actually helping more. Oh my gosh, we're done. Oh, my eyes are on fire. Oh, that looks really good. I love it. So I just have the cookie sheet lined with a piece of parchment paper. And this is not gonna be like a single layer situation. It just is what it is. There are some pieces in here that are a little larger, but that's okay. If I find that when I'm cooking, I want to chop them up a little more, it'll be super easy to either run my knife through it or run them through like the mini chopper, and life will be good. And actually what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of this out. Oh, the vapors. Whew. I think I'm gonna take some of this out and put it in a mason jar and have it in the refrigerator, because I know I have a lot of recipes coming up like this week, you know, just cooking in general, where I will need onions. And so this is going to come in perfect. So onions, here we go. So that is like filled 3/4 of the way in my mason jar. This is perfect. I'm gonna go throw this tray in the freezer and then we are moving on. So before we get started on the next thing, I want to check off my onions. So where? They're not even on here. I'm gonna do it. Onions. Check. And I just wrote down the next thing, which is garlic. So, un momento. I have this big tub of garlic, and you know, it's not full to the top, but this is plenty. So I love to use garlic in like damn near everything except for like, you know, sweets and oatmeal and stuff. But it's another thing that like, it's just the extra step. So if I do it in advance, then fingers crossed, it's just going to keep me motivated to stay on track, to return balance to my body and my habits and all the things. So here's my plan. I want to get all of this garlic finely chopped up. I'm going to do the same thing, employ the food processor, and then I'm going to do this. Stick it in this silicone ice cube tray and throw it in the freezer. This way I just have little blocks of garlic and I can throw them into my dish. It'll thaw while I'm cooking and all will be right in the world. My garlic doesn't go bad. It is prepped and ready to go. All I have to do is grab and throw it in. Oh, definitely worth the work. Let's do it. This initial part is just gonna be a little bit tedious to get all the cloves separated and then to get them out of their little wrapping paper, but it's okay. Totally worth the steps. Totally worth it. I don't need excuses. Do you know what I mean? I just don't. I am a tired girl. Tired girl. And my hope is that this is really just gonna make life so much easier, which I know it is. I know it is. So, you know, this past week, I hope you can hear me all over all this like paper rustling, but this past week I was so tired. Just like, I felt just burned out, super burned out, but you know, it was punctuation time, if you know what I mean. And my hormones were just all over the place, dipping and diving and soaring and doing whatever they felt like doing. So I was going through it. And the last thing I wanted to do was think about cooking. So I did make a couple of things, but they were easy things and things that definitely gave us leftovers. So I love to cook extra and have leftovers. I honestly don't even know how to cook small portions. I don't. I grew up with a large family and, you know, someone's always cooking for the whole crew. And it's just how I grew up. And so when I lived on my own, that's how I cooked all the time, was like I was cooking for an army. But it was nice because there were always leftovers and I love having leftovers. So my point being that the days that I feel like I have more energy and, you know, I feel awake and alert and all the things, like, you know, my hormones aren't plotting against me, those are the days that I really want to take advantage of how I'm feeling and do things like this, because it's such a time saver later. And I just want to set myself up for success. So, you know, also garlic is just good in like almost everything. Almost everything. Ugh. And what vampire is going to come here? None. I have like a garlic fortress. Ugh. All right, so maybe I'm going to do this Give everyone a little smashing, and then I will peel. Those potatoes smell so good. So good. I wish I had timed this because it feels like it's taking an eternity. But again, silver lining. I don't have to prep garlic for like 5 years. Remember when I thought the potatoes would take the longest? That took an insanely long amount of time. So let's get to mincing and then we can move on. So I'm gonna stop and scrape this down. I just wanna make sure that these guys are nice and minced up. Ooh, it smells strong in there. So I'm just gonna take this garlic mince paste, whatever it is, and I'm gonna spread it into my little ice cube tray, and I'm just gonna see how far I get. So I feel like this is going to go quite a ways. I don't know the best method to do this. I feel like I'm just going to stick it on top and just kind of let it fall where it will. But I do want to fill up each one of these, or as many as I can, fill them to the top, and I'm not worried about it being like too much garlic for a recipe, because is there such a thing as too much garlic? No. No, there is not. All right, so I do have 2 that look like they're halfway full and 1 that's like 3/4 of the way full, and the rest are filled to the very top. And this makes me so happy. So I'm gonna put the lid on this, and this guy is gonna go into the freezer. And then I'm coming back to check off another thing from our list. Next up, I am going to throw my little Yukon Gold potatoes into the Instant Pot. But before I do that, I'm gonna check off the garlic because check marks mean everything. So for my potatoes, these guys are already washed, ready to go. I'm gonna give them just some little piercings so they don't explode. Do you know? Nobody wants to clean that up. And then I'm going to steam them for like 7 to 8 minutes because they are on the small side. So let's get to it. I used to use the little steamer rack that came with my Instant Pot to steam potatoes and whatever else. And then I got this basket from Amazon. I will link it down below, and game changer. These guys are ready. My Instant Pot is waiting, so I'm going to get this started and then we are moving on. The next thing on our list is falafels, and I just love falafels so much. You would think I would make them more often than I do, and I don't for whatever reason. I think I just forget about them, you know, like out of sight, out of mind. But I love just eating them in a wrap with some like salad and veggies, or throwing them on top of a salad. They are just so delicious. Oh my gosh. So I have a pound of chickpeas here that have soaked and they are ready to go. So they are not cooked at all. These are raw that I bought in a bag, and I washed them, soaked them, and so uncooked, very important. This is where some of our garlic comes in. So you can definitely use powdered garlic or garlic powder. I am not using a recipe, I'm just wigging it as per usual. So I'm gonna use this like little half guy. So that's like a heaped teaspoon. Then I'm gonna use some of our onions that we just hooked up. So I'm gonna use like 2 heaped teaspoons of this. Next up, we're gonna go in with parsley. So I'm going to just give this a little bit of a chop here. All right. So I'm just gonna get the leaves off of these guys, and in they will go. All right, I grabbed a little more basil. These guys are nice and clean, ready to go. All right, so to our mix, I'm going to start with 1 teaspoon of salt. We're gonna do some ground coriander. So I'm gonna do about half a teaspoon of that. I'm gonna do some cumin seeds. So normally I would do ground cumin, but I don't have any. So this is like 3/4 of a teaspoon. And then I'm gonna do some smoked paprika because I really, really like it. So I'm just gonna do about half a teaspoon. Pretty good. So I think I'm gonna add a little more salt, just like 1/3 of a teaspoon. And then I'm gonna hit this with some lemon juice just to brighten it up. Adding lemon at this point, it will cook out for the most part, like, you know, not all of it, but a good bit of it will cook out. And that's okay, like the essence will be there. The essence. Oh yeah. The lemon really did it. Yes, 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 yes. So I am just gonna take our mixture here. I'm gonna put it in my little paws, and I'm going to form the falafels. I can't forget about my falafels, you know? It's not a vibe. They're so delicious. I don't know why I forget about them. That one is our biggest one yet, but it's okay. It's okay. You guys are individuals. Be who you are. You're rustic. This is like playing with wet sand, except you can eat it when you're done and you won't get in trouble, you know? Also, I feel like these are getting bigger as I go. And done. Yay! So those guys are in for 14 minutes at 425 degrees. When the timer goes off, I'm going to turn them and let them cook for another like 10 to 12 minutes, and then they should be good to go. So I'm going to clean up my little workstation here, and then we are moving on. What we have left to do, I just don't know. Let's check the list. All right. So we can say our falafel. Oh, we need to do our chicken sausage, our potatoes are cooking. I mean, we're doing well. Let's do our chicken sausage and then we can move on. Before we move on to our chicken sausage, I completely forgot that I need to make the tzatziki sauce. So we are about to do that. I already made the base. So this is just cashews and water. It's really thick, which is fine because it's going to thin out with the lemon juice we're gonna add. Ugh, I can't open it. Oh my gosh. All right. Whew. Did I get that on me? Probably. So it is still popping hot. And this is going to make quite a bit. And I'm excited because we can dip falafels in this. We can also add it to our greens as like a dressing. So exciting, so exciting. So this is just cashews and water, and I blended that up to create this delicious thickness. And now I'm gonna add everything to this. Let's clean up our station. Okay, so first things first is I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to this. So I'm just gonna do, our potatoes are ready. I'm gonna do like an 1/8 of a teaspoon. And before I proceed, I'm going to do a quick release on the steam so our potatoes can stop cooking. Un momento. Whew, there's a lot going on in this kitchen right now. All right, so I just got the zest off of this lemon. So I would say it was like half of the lemon. And now I'm going to cut it up finely. And I'm gonna put this into our tzatziki sauce just to give it like some extra freshness, that lemony goodness. Lemon is the best thing ever. I'm gonna take half of this cucumber and I'm going to run it through the fine grater, just where I did the lemon. And then I'm going to squeeze this out. So we do not want a watery tzatziki. That's not the vibe. Not the vibe. And I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna wring it out like right into the sink. Look at, it's like a green sponge. Feels wonderful. All the timers, all the timers. So I'm gonna throw our cucumber right into there, rinse my hands, turn the falafel, and I will be right back. The falafel is looking so incredibly good. I turned those guys and then I set it for 8 minutes. So I was gonna do like another 10 to 12, but I think 8 is gonna do the trick. I don't want them to dry out. I think this is going to be perfect. So this is the juice of half of a lemon. So once all is said and done, I'll give it a taste. And if it needs more lemon juice, then I will add more, no big deal. I'm gonna take some fresh dill. And I just want to use the little bushy parts. Come on, dill. In you go. The last thing we need is a little bit of garlic. And fortunately, I have my garlic here. So I'm gonna just take a little. This is like 1/3 of a teaspoon, which is probably about a clove, like a small clove of garlic. And now we are going to stir. Look at our mess. I'm telling you, I would not make it in a professional kitchen. They would be like, please go home. You are a messy, messy girl. That's tasty. So I am gonna add the other half of the lemon and a little more dill. Maybe another little baby pinch of salt, and then we should be good. I don't know why I moved my bowl. I love lemon. If I could add lemon to eggs, I would do it. Oh my gosh. That is really, really good. So I'm going to find the lid for this guy, put it in the fridge so it can start to cool and clean up my station, and we're moving on. It is finally time to move on to our chicken sausage, and I'm so excited. So I have 2 pounds of ground chicken, and to this I'm going to add seasonings, and we're gonna measure with the heart, okay? Measure with the heart. That's probably the thing my husband loves the least about me. He likes precision, and that's not my cooking style. So first we're going in with some onion powder. So I am going to do about 2 tablespoons of onion powder. We're gonna do some turmeric because you know I love my turmeric. So with the turmeric, we'll do about a heaped teaspoon. We're gonna do some chili powder. So the chili powder will do about a tablespoon and a half. We're gonna do some crushed red pepper flakes because, you know, a little spice is good in the life. So since I have 2 pounds, I'm doing about a tablespoon. We'll do some garlic powder. So I'll do about a tablespoon and a half of the garlic powder. Hello? Well, that's it. We're done. Done with the garlic powder. And then the fennel seed. So I love using fennel seed when I want something to have like a sausagey flavor. This is what's going to do that. So I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of fennel seed. So to this, I am going to add some salt, like a heaped teaspoon of salt. We have a lot of meat here to flavor up. I'm gonna do some fresh garlic, some of the garlic that we did just a little bit ago. So I'm going to do like half of a teaspoon. And last but not least is some of our freshly made onions. So I'm going to do about a heaped tablespoon of that. So to this, I'm gonna add some maple syrup. So here's where our chicken maple sausage comes in. So I'm gonna do about a quarter of a cup, maybe just a little less. No, about a quarter. So I like the salty and sweet. The maple syrup definitely gives it that breakfast taste. But again, you don't have to eat this for just breakfast. I may crumble some of this up over a salad, have it with my falafels, like no one knows. The world is our oyster, you know? The world is our oyster. So I'm gonna get these seasonings moved over and we're gonna start getting all of this blended in and get our patties formed up. So, un momento. I'm ready to go. So I have a cookie sheet with a piece of saran wrap, like plastic wrap on it. And this is just to place my patties before I cook them. So now with my gloved little hands, I'm gonna give all of this a really good mix and make sure that our seasonings are well blended and our maple syrup is all blended in. I mean, these are really good, really, really good. All right, so I think everybody is nice and mixed up. So I'm gonna just grab and form. I know you are shocked. Grab and form. So I am making these like little sausage rounds, like the little patties. That's what I mean, not the sausage rounds, the patties. The little breakfast sausage patties. So, you know, not super easy to roll these and do all the things with gloves, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So this is what they look like right there. Delicious, delicious. And just like the falafels, you know, I feel like as I go, these are just getting larger, which I know my B's not gonna be upset about. He likes a larger breakfast patty, it's all good. But these are becoming burgers. That's what they're becoming. Breakfast burgers. These guys are a little bit smaller, but I ended up with 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 total. And 12 of those guys are really chunky guys. Really chunky guys. So let's start cooking these guys up. And then we're that much closer to the finish line. I am finally done and oh my gosh, my excitement is on overload. So here are the main players of today's food prep. I'm so excited, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. So we have our falafel, and with our falafel, I made a dairy-free tzatziki sauce. So this is cashew based and it has the garlic and the lemon and the dill and the stuff, and oh my gosh, it's so good. So we need to give these a taste test and see what we're working with. And the falafels are just, oh my gosh, they have like a nice little crisp to them. Look at that, look at that. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I am so excited. I'm gonna take a little piece, tip it into our tzatziki. Uh-oh. Oh my God. So good. So good. This is like, you can eat this by itself. It is so freaking delicious. So our next player is our little chicken and maple syrup sausage patties. So these are good for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, for snack, whatever you want. We kept our seasonings basic. I did add a little extra crushed red pepper just to give it some heat with the pink salt and the maple syrup. And oh my gosh, so excited. So let's take a little taste test and see what we're working with. Oh my gosh, it feels really like tender and moist. I don't know if you can see that, but it's giving delicious. So I'm gonna taste a little piece without the maple syrup, like dipping it in, and then I'll taste with. Oh my God. That is really good. These are definitely spicier than the ones I made before, so my bee's gonna love that. And I did add more maple syrup to these than I did the first time I made these, so I'm really grateful for that. I don't think they need anything else. No more salt, no more anything. But like I said, if you want to, you can always sprinkle some seasonings on top, especially salt, just to give it that little something. So now I'm gonna have one more piece and dip it into some maple syrup. Oh my God. And I have like maple syrup everywhere. Oh. One of the other things we made today is our roasted Japanese sweet potatoes and our delicata squash. So I'm gonna give this a taste. And all we did for these guys to cook them was sprinkle them with some salt and some cinnamon, which is like my favorite combo. No oil, nothing. They got nice and tender and just, Oh my God. The Japanese sweet potato is where it's at. I just love it. I love it. Next, we have our Yukon Gold potatoes. So I just threw these guys in the Instant Pot, gave them a little steam. They are nice and tender, buttery, and just creamy and delicious. These are so perfect to have in the fridge, already cooked, and then you can just turn them into fries or potato wedges or, I mean, anything your heart desires. You can pretty much use this, and it is, oh my gosh, so good, so good. So the last two things we did, which took some time, but I'm so grateful it's over. We have a sheet pan of diced onions. So excited for this. So I will forewarn you, the freezer definitely smells like onion, but it is fine. I'm gonna break this up, put it in a reusable Ziploc bag, and then we are good to go. The last player is our garlic. So I took a bunch of garlic cloves, minced them up in the food processor, and then threw them in this ice cube tray. So this is silicone, they will pop out easily. So this will go in the freezer as well, and we will be good to go. So very successful day. This did take a few hours, but so worth the prep time. I am very excited. We have some really great ingredients here that are just grab and go. So happy. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up, you subscribe, and you click that notification bell, because all of that really supports my channel and it means the universe to me. Mwah.